Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to talk about my arcades in my house. So not just the arcade machines in my arcade room, which I did a video on separately, but just showcasing all the different arcades in my house and kind of going through and talking about each one, what they each mean to me, if I plan on keeping them, if I plan on replacing them, if they're going to leave, what they're going to be replaced with, and kind of just give you a state of my arcades in my game room to talk about these and give you guys some ideas for your game room. So let's go ahead and get into the video.
Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Since we're already here, we might as well start off in the actual game room here. This is where I have some of my arcade machines. This is my Mario Kart retro racing machine. The marquee does light up. This is from a collaboration between Buy Stuff Store and also Retro Lizards with the PC that's inside. And then Buy Stuff Stores did the arcade machine. And like I said, the marquee lights up. I just have it turned off right now. And this is obviously modded with a chair here. I love this machine. This is where I play all of my racing games that are not VR related and stuff like that, because I have that separated. I have my own VR racing rig upstairs with a racing wheel. It's, you know, a complete build basically. So this is where I play my arcade racing games, or, you know, you could see Techno Parrot, some of the Windows games I do play on here depending on my mood, Dreamcast, Xbox, stuff like that. And then this is the PC right next to it that's running it. So there's a PC inside, got the shifter, got the pedals and everything. I love having a full size, this is a 32-inch screen, a full size, you know, retro PC racing build. It's fantastic, and I love the theming of it. I did Mario Kart because I wanted to match in the retro room, because this was the only spot that I had to put it in. So that's why I kind of put it and said Mario Kart will go well, because it's Mario Kart in this room, and that kind of matches the retro feel of this room, because this is a retro gaming area. So matches perfectly, love it, and I get a ton of fun out of this machine. Then here we have my Miss PacMan cocktail machine here. This is, I've had this for a while from Arcade1up. This one was modded out. As you can see here, I have light up buttons on here now. So you can see them playing right there. And I added these buttons because I wanted to be able to play more than just these stock buttons. So I had this modded with more buttons for both players. So now there's more games that you can play on either side. And I basically have all of the different cocktail games, as you can see. And when you play them, what's cool about it is that, you know, it will rotate the screen like a cocktail cabinet would. And this is a Pi 4 that's sitting in here, I believe, with this image, and just having all these games on here. And I love, the whole point of having these arcade machines is that they all do something different, and they're all in my room for a certain reason. Obviously, starting off with the racing build, that's to play all my racing games in that form factor. This one here is to play all of these different games that obviously you can play on other ways, but nothing is like playing these games that were meant to be played in cocktail form, and play them in cocktail form, going back and forth, and you're playing Miss PacMan and stuff on here. Sorry for the light, that's kind of reflecting on the machine. But yeah, I love this cocktail machine, and it gives a different experience than the other machines do. And then this is my Pong machine. This one gets a hell of a lot of use. This is one of my favorite Arcade1up machines that they've ever come out with, because it's just so much fun. Warlords on here with 4 players, or Pong with 4 players, is super fun. It's super easy to play, and people get a kick out of this machine when they come over, and it's one of the most played machines in the house. Coming over here is my, I don't know if this is considered an arcade machine or not, but it's an arcade thing, so I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. This is my official bubble hockey machine here, Super Checks. Always wanted one of these. It's themed to Devils vs. Rangers, of course, go Devils. I've had this for a while. I wish it got more use, actually, than it does. Obviously, it's not a game I can play by myself, so I have to rely on someone coming over and playing it and stuff like that. But when I do have somebody come over and we do play it, it's a hell of a lot of fun. Nothing else is like that. And having a real Super Checks machine in the house is obviously awesome. Coming into the board game / arcade corner right here, this is my Infinity game table, as you guys can see here, with the seating area. This is the 32-inch model, so I have that sitting right there for people to kind of hang out and play in. Obviously, this brings all the digital board games on here, so you can play with your friends. And there's a lot of good games on that table. I've done a lot of videos on that. I don't think we need to talk about that too much. And then here we have my Legends pinball machine. This is obviously their HD version. This is one of the ones that will definitely be replaced, because they're coming out with a new 4K version, and I definitely want that 4K version with all the upgrades that they have going on. Obviously, I have another virtual pinball machine that you guys will see, but this one has a 32-inch screen, along with having the at-game specific tables that you can't play anywhere else that I really like Grinch and stuff like that. So there's a purpose for this one as well. It's a 32-inch screen. which is bigger than my other one, and it has the Legends Pinball Machine specific tables that you can't play anywhere else, which is what's important. And obviously in 4K, I'm definitely going to sell this off and get it. And I do some mods to this. There's solenoids inside. There's haptic feedback speakers inside as well that I did. But yeah, unfortunately, this will get sold once I get the new one. But you know, it's going to be the same thing, just 4K instead. This is my Star Wars machine that's modded with a PC. And I love this machine. It plays all the different racers on here. I modded it with a bigger screen as well as the 20-inch screen that's in here, the Dell one. So it has an even bigger screen in it. Has the speakers on the top for good surround sound. And yeah, I love this machine. Has all the different Star Wars games on it, including the ones that, of course, came with the machine originally. And then all the other racers that you would want to play on a yoke and flying games and stuff like that. So again, what's this machine doing here? And that's what we're talking about in this video. Why is it in the arcade? Because it gives me all the racing games in a form factor that you can't play anywhere else, with the yoke controls that feel very different than a racing wheel, especially with the flying games as well. Wheel of Fortune here got added here recently. I did a review on this. This is the Casino-cade. Obviously, this is unique. There's not much else like this in the arcade. So this is a great machine. People are going to have a lot of fun with this. I know there's been a lot of flack with this machine, but I love the sights and sound of it. I love being able to, play, unlock different games and level up and compete against people on the leaderboards. And people are going to have a ton of fun when they come over. People love playing slots when they come over, because I used to have a slot machine and they were all over it. And this one's even easier to play and people are going to love it. And I'm having a ton of fun with it as well. And this is my New Wave Toys corner with all the different arcade machines here that New Wave Toys has come out with, as you can see. So awesome little corner here. And then this is my Marvel Superheroes. This is the special edition one from back in the day that they had these Soundwall joysticks and stuff. Probably one of the best special editions that they've ever made. It is modded with a Pi 4 because I wanted all the shooters, all the fighters on here so you can easily play, and it has really good buttons to play them. So, and it has a really cool theme that kind of matches the artwork that I found from the Pi 4. As you can see, it has like a comic book style. So it's like a perfect theme. You would think it just came with the cabinet. Now, of course, coming into the arcade room here, let's talk about each one of these machines here. We got the shooter cabinet right here. This has all of my different shooting games. I use Gun for IR guns right here for 2 players. And this is a Windows PC build from Retro Lizards, and he built this machine for me as well. Check him out if you haven't already. And this has obviously all the arcade gun games. They have Xbox games on here, Nintendo, Wii, all of the different things you can want. Techno Parrot are on here, Super Nintendo, House of the Dead, all that stuff is on here, ready to go on this 2-player shooting cabinet. Awesome. Dragon's Lair, these are one of the machines that I added here recently. I wanted Dragon's Lair because I love the form factor of it. I love the unique, marquee. I love that people recognize this. Everyone recognizes this from back in the day who were into arcades. I love, the screen, the way it's like slanted in, like the arcade game was, which is different. I like adding different machines that do different things in my game room. Obviously, that's kind of the point. They all add something different. And you can see that this machine is very different than the rest of them because of the way that the screen is tilted. But one of the main things that I also liked about it is this right here. The fact that they actually added this player scoreboard is what really made me want to get it. Not to mention how gorgeous the actual cabinet looks like. With the slanted screen and the speakers, but that digital screen is what did it for me, because that obviously was nostalgic to the actual game back in the day, and it's not something you're going to be able to replicate, if you just play it on MAME or something like that. So this deserved a spot in the game room for sure. This is my Miss Pac-Man Galaga Class of 1981 machine here, the latest machine added as well. This is fantastic. I love the way that this machine looks. And this one was added again because of the form factor, because this is a screen that's tilted down. It's exactly how you should play these games, Miss Pac-Man and Galaga and stuff like that. Of course, all these games have leaderboards and stuff, which gives you another incentive as well to play these games. Instead of just playing them on MAME and stuff where you can compete against high scores and stuff, which is fun. But mostly, what made me get it is 3 things. Leaderboards, the fact that it's a Pac-Man machine, that a lot of people obviously want a Pac-Man machine in their arcade room because people love Pac-Man and they'll come up to it immediately. My mom and everybody always does, and they're always looking for a Pac-Man machine. And then the third thing is that this slanted screen, like I said, it's the correct form factor for playing these games. So, and it looks fantastic. This is my Street Fighter Big Blue. This is modded with a bunch of, with upgraded buttons and joysticks and stuff, and with better speakers. This is one that I keep going back and forth if I should sell off and get either the Yoga Flame or the Championship Edition. I keep going back and forth. I can't decide. The problem is I already modded the buttons for really good buttons now with these hat buttons and joysticks and the speakers, and it's just a pain to sell this off and get the other one, even though the other one just had better games and a better game lineup, because I don't really care about Darkstalkers that's on here. So, I don't know. I keep going back and forth. Let me know what you guys think. Then we got the Neo Geo machine there in the corner. I love the Neo Geo. It has the high-low hack with all of these games on here. I know that they're coming out with a big boy Neo Geo machine now, I heard. So this might get swapped out for that if I find the room for it. But regardless, I love this Neo Geo machine. Obviously, nostalgic Neo Geo cab that was in the arcades, having a miniature version of it, 3/4 scale, and having all the games on it with the high-low hack is super fun. I wouldn't say necessarily that this machine is here. Probably the only one that's not here for any other reason but just the cool factor. The other ones have like online play, like the Street Fighter here is online play, which is the main reason it's here, and leaderboards and stuff like that. And I've talked about with the other machines. This one doesn't have any of that, because I could obviously play these Neo Geo games on any other cabinet that I have modded. But I like the Neo Geo cab so much, and it's so iconic to have in the game room, which is why I got it back in the day, and it still lives here and will probably continue to do so. This is the main arcade machine here. This is the one that houses every single game you can think of for 2 players here. Has a trackball. This machine, for the most part, is being used for trackball games and spinner games, because I have a really good spinner on it. And then this is the only machine that I have, besides another one that's upstairs, that trackball, to play all my favorite trackball games. So, but obviously it lights up with all these buttons and stuff like that. It's super fun. And I have a lot of fun playing that machine, and it has everything you could want, because I have a built-in PC on there. It has Windows games, every game you could think of is on there. There's like, I don't know, 90,000 games on there or something, including a bunch of Windows releases and stuff that makes sense to play on the arcade controls. This is my virtual pinball machine that I have on here. Obviously, this is self-explanatory. Well, this is here. This is my first one that I ever built. This was from Game Room Solutions, and I built this machine myself. And it turned out pretty good, in my opinion. This is their Generation 2, and Stranger Things themed, obviously. I just added Pinball FX on it. This is a 4K screen, but it's a 27-inch screen, so not as big as the At Games Legends machine. But I do have a PC sitting underneath right there that kind of houses this, because it couldn't fit everything inside this smaller machine. And but it has the 3 screens. It has a pin-up popper, system on here, a bunch of different tables. This is a lot of fun. Again, 4K screen right there, and everything looks fantastic. It's running a 2080 Ti in it. This is my NBA Jam machine. This is the only machine that's kind of in my head that I definitely think will be on the chopping block and not be replaced with its current form. Like, Street Fighter, I said might be replaced, but just with another Street Fighter machine that I keep contemplating. But this one might just end up leaving in general once Arcade1up comes out with something that I want. So it's not going to leave anytime soon. But this takes up a lot of room, and I can fit 2 Arcade1up machines here if I wanted to. And if they come out with a Track and Field or a Smash TV, it's definitely going to be replaced and have those 2 here, because those will be a lot more fun to get some use out of. This is great because it's a PC mod with a bunch of my 4-player stuff, but a couple of things. One, it can only house games that will work with 4 players, obviously, so a lot of that is arcade games and some specific Windows games that work with 4 players. There are some, or 4 buttons. There are some, but usually you would need more buttons than that. And then also this being a little tight, because obviously the panel's not super big for 4 players. I have done 4 players on here. It is a little tight. It works. We've done NBA Jam on it, but it is a little tight. So I'm not sure. I mean, like I said, it's in the game room because it is my only 4-player machine that plays all these games. So if I got rid of it, the only way to play these games like that would be on this machine, and that's obviously only a 2-player, setup. So I would lose out on the 4-player stuff for NBA Jam and stuff like that, but I end up usually just playing 2 players or even by myself most of the time anyway. So I don't know. Like I said, this will be the first one on the chopping block once Arcade1up comes out with something I actually want. Tron Machine here. This is my Tron Machine that you see here, and I love this machine. It won't ever go anywhere. I love Tron the movie, and I love the game. I actually have a lot of fun playing it. The reason it's off right now is because an update killed my PCB, and they're in the middle of sending me a new one. Because it broke my machine. So yeah, that's why that's turned off. And then this is my upright, Recroommasters machine. This won't go anywhere either. I love playing. This is a 32-inch screen, and being able to play these games in this form factor is awesome. It has PlayStation, MAME, You know, pinball's even on here if you wanted to play in this form factor because it's a lot of fun. They have the pinball buttons there on the side. But I love playing games on here like, you know, Galaga, Miss PacMan, just in another form factor again. So really, really cool. All right, coming up the stairs here, this is the gathering room / bar room that I've talked about before. And we got some machines up here as well. These are my full-size machines that don't really fit downstairs due to the height of the ceiling. And this is the Big Buck Hunter machine that I had. This would be the last machine in the house that leaves. If I had to sell everything, this would be the last one to go. This is such a great machine. It is the #1 machine everyone plays in the house. Yes, it is the real Big Buck Hunter Reloaded machine from Raw Thrills. And the replayability on this machine is insane. The crisp HD, I think it's a 42-inch screen, looks fantastic, all the lights and everything. Being able to play this online against other people who are playing at bars and stuff, and I still show up as being home, which is hilarious. Awesome replayability. The mini games, they're actually adding an update, which I'll do a review when it comes out, but they're actually doing a free update for this machine, and they're sending everybody a new marquee and stuff because they just announced that they're adding The Walking Dead. So not only does this machine, which is why it got called Reloaded, have the Big Buck Hunter games that we all know and love, but they also added you know, a couple of other things as well, like a zombie mode, and then Terminator got added, like their other Terminator machine got added that they, you know, let go, and now they added it to this machine. And they're doing the same thing with The Walking Dead. Walking Dead was one of Raw Thrills' arcade machines, and they kind of let it go in the sunset. They don't have it anymore in the arcades. So they're adding the actual Walking Dead game onto this machine, which I think is awesome. If this is their all-in-one machine, that they keep adding their games that they kind of sunset and add it to this machine, that's awesome. So they're adding that Walking Dead game, full game, into here. I can't wait to get that update. And then also a couple of other mini games that they're adding, and then another Animal to Hunt and Big Buck Hunter. So we'll talk about that more when the video comes out. This is my retro Raccoons machine. This is from, you know, I love this machine when I got it, and I still think it's a really fun machine. For sure, this is from Incredible Technologies. It is a really unique machine. It's like a Mario Party with over 40 mini games and stuff like that. That's really fun, 42-inch screen. So this is my other four-player machine I was talking about, but it's just this machine, obviously, specific for this game. The only thing that's disappointing with this machine is I got this machine because they were like, oh, we're going to continue to add more mini games as the time goes on. I think they've added 2 since I've had this for almost 2 years. And they haven't, the people who made this glitch bit, with that partner with Incredible Technologies, and they still advertise this on their website, which is what's annoying. It says that they're going to continue to add more minigames, and there hasn't been a new minigame in like a year. And they've only added 2 since I got it. So it's kind of ridiculous. I was hoping that they would at least have over 50 minigames by the time it was all said and done. And I think they're at like 43 or 44, and they kind of stopped there. But what is here is fun. And they did reduce the price on this machine a lot compared to when it first came out. But still super disappointing. This machine is awesome, and it's a fun Mario Party style arcade machine that isn't really like anything else out there. But unfortunately, they just supported it for like 6 months and then stopped adding anything new to it. And then this is my Golden Tee machine. This is another one that will be the last one to leave the house if it ever did, if it ever had to. And this is my Golden Tee machine here. I'm running the 2022 software. I haven't gotten the 2023 software on this yet. Not really in a hurry to do so. But what's awesome about this machine is that it's the full Golden Tee experience on the pedestal. But what's even better is that I also have the arcade collection in there. So it's a full-on dual setup PC that has 2 PCs in there, one for Golden Tee and one for the arcade collection. Because I didn't have room for 2 machines, and then that means I have Power Poke Golf, Silver Strike Bowling, and Target Toss Pro, along with Golden Tee on here, which is freaking awesome, and it plays fantastic on that TV. And then we have NFL Blitz on here. This is an Arcade1up machine. I actually did think they did a fantastic job with this machine. The 48-way joystick, the fact that the graphics are HD. I did a review on this machine a while ago when it came out. Yes, we're all mad that the late hits aren't on there, and I get it. And yes, you can play this game on a regular cab, but again, 4 players, even though it's a little tight, it still works because I have done it with 4 players, and we did get it to work. But I also think the HD graphics, like I talked about in my review, are actually do look better than what it does look like if you play it on main. I did the comparisons, and it definitely looks crisper and higher textured on the Arcade1up version than it did on the other one. So there is a little bit of difference compared to the main one. But obviously, most people are going to want the main one anyway because there's actually late hits on that one as opposed to this one. For me, And most people who come over, the game is just as fun to play even without delayed hits. Obviously, it had nothing to do with Arcade1up's decision. It was the NFL. It was either they don't put it in or we don't get the cab at all. So I prefer to get the cab like this than not having it at all. And if I want to play it with hits, with late hits one day, I got plenty of cabinets downstairs that I could do that on. This is my IR Arcade. Unfortunately, IR Arcade no longer exists, but I still have their machine. I love the Dead Cells machine. And I have a bunch of games on here that I got right before they went out of business. Unfortunately, but there's a ton of different games on here, as you can see, that I love playing, and some of them are unique to, because this was obviously more of a newer gen system. They were adding games that like you can sometimes even find on Steam and stuff. So I never actually want to get rid of this machine as long as it keeps on working, hopefully for a long time to come, because there's a lot of good games on here that you can't really play on arcade sticks, at least not, you know, in this form factor and stuff, unless if you just mod it with a PC, of course. But I think this machine is a ton of fun, and I love the Dead Cells, you know, artwork and stuff like that. And these are my two Mega Touch and JVL machines. These are my bar touchscreen devices. People love these machines. This is probably my second most played thing in the house, right next to Big Buck Hunter. This would be the next two. That's why I think that Casino-Cade downstairs people are going to love, because everyone loves playing touchscreen games and slots and stuff like that. Hence why these two machines are here. And these have over 100 games each, like a giant iPad on a screen. This is what they used to use at bars before iPads were a thing. These things are awesome. I don't want to sell it. I never want to sell it because people play them so much, and I love playing them so much as well. The fact that each game has their own local leaderboards and stuff like that. But man, these machines now demand a heavy price out there that it almost makes you contemplate getting rid of them. But I probably won't. But like this machine is like $1,500. That machine sometimes hits like $2,000 by itself. It's kind of insane what they're going for now. But I'm super happy to own both of these sitting in the game room. And then we have my dartboard here, probably not an arcade machine, but it's my online dartboard that I can play darts and play with other players online, so I never have to feel like I have to wait for other people to play darts, which is fun. The last arcade machine we're going to be talking about that I own in this house is actually in my Disney room. I've talked about my Disney room before. This is my Disney guest room. I'm not going to showcase that right now because we've done a video on it before, and I have a full game room tour with all of this, but the arcade machine that's in here, obviously you can see, is the Guitar Hero machine. It lights up in the front with the cool lights. It has the lights in the background. It is a Guitar Hero machine modded with a PC that has all these different Guitar Hero games, including Clone Hero with thousands and thousands of songs to play Guitar Hero, which is super fun. And it's also a karaoke machine as well. So I have two wireless microphones out there, and I can play karaoke with something called Ultrastar that has a bunch of different karaoke songs and new songs coming out all the time. And this is being rethemed. I'm working with someone to hopefully get this rethemed here soon to Disney, because obviously it's in this room because I play a lot of karaoke in here, and I love singing Disney karaoke songs from High School Musical, Camp Rock, and Starstruck, being some of my favorite movies. And it being in this room and has a bunch of karaoke songs for Disney. And then Clone Hero actually has a crap ton of Disney songs that I had made as well. For that game that I, paid someone to actually make songs for me and stuff like that, and they were able to do that for me. So there's a lot of songs on there that I play all the time that are Disney themed. So this machine kind of goes perfectly in here because when I think about Disney, I love singing their songs and I love playing their songs. So I thought this machine kind of fit the vibe, and it obviously had a space for it here. So it fit good in here, and it just needs to be rethemed. And I think once it gets rethemed, it's going to really shine in this room. Once it doesn't say Guitar Hero and it just says, Disney karaoke / Guitar Hero, whatever it's going to say. They're working on the theming, but I'm excited to see the finished look of this once it's completely rethemed. All right, guys, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video on my current arcade collection in the house and kind of showcasing all my current arcades and stuff like that. I've talked about this before, but you guys know I love variety in the game room. That's why I added the Wheel of Fortune Casino-Cade. That's why I have a dedicated karaoke machine, Guitar Hero. I love everything arcade. It doesn't matter if it's from Arcade1up. It doesn't matter if it's from Game Room Solutions. It doesn't matter if it's a real arcade machine. I like a mixture of everything. I'm not going to be the person that owns a real arcade machine for every single game. It's just not possible. I don't have the ceiling height for it. I don't have the room for it. I don't want to deal with the hassle of it breaking because CRTs break all the time and having to fix them and all that nonsense. I like a mixture of everything depending on what I like. And I think this room kind of showcases that off here, where I have different arcade machines for different reasons. And I love the way that the arcade room looks. I love the variety that my game room has with all these different arcades. And when people come over, they have a blast. Everyone's all over the different machines, different machines that they either have seen in the arcades, but a little bit smaller, or maybe full-size machines, depending on what they are. But Arcade1up serves a purpose. I love having arcade machines in the arcade. I would have never owned a Dragon's Lair in full size. It's never going to happen. I'm not going to buy that machine. It weighs too much to bring in here. It wouldn't fit in my basement down the stairs. It'd be insane. Same thing with, you know, Miss PacMan and stuff. I wouldn't waste my effort to get a real machine, but in an Arcade1up form factor, that's awesome. Just like a casino arcade, you know, fits that need, just like those racing cabinets. I don't want to buy one specific racing cabinet in this house because then I'm not going to have room for anything else. I'm just going to have that one game. As much as I love, you know, certain games in the racing world, like the Mario Kart Road Racing arcade game, or, you know, Cruisin', which I would love if I lived in an alternate universe to have that machine in the house, but I'm not going to. So instead, you get one of these other machines that kind of do all the racing games, and I can play all of those like Cruisin' Blast and stuff on that machine with a PC build. So that makes it a lot more fun. And again, it's all about what you want, what you actually want in the arcade room, what serves you. But a lot of nonsense has been going on lately in the arcade community of being like, oh, you can't buy Arcade1ups anymore. You got to go into the real stuff. You got to buy real you know, arcade machines. You got to buy real pinball machines. You got to buy this. You got to buy that. Buy what you like. That's always what matters. Have a mixture of everything. Make your arcade room unique. Make your game room unique, and do what you like. Obviously, like I said, in my game room here, I like everything from different companies. It depends on if I think they're fun, I will get them if they fit in the game room. It doesn't matter if they're real, short, miniature, whatever the case may be. If they're fun and I like playing them, they'll come into the game room. So guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.